Welcome to the Wonderful Women podcast with Susan Stewart. I hope everybody's listening and you share this far and wide and press subscribe. That would be amazing. Today, I am just so blessed to have the amazing Lindsey Best with me. I had to contain myself. I had to get myself back together because this is the first time that I have actually seen Lindsey in a face-to-face way for many, many years. But if you have watched the intro podcast, telling you about how this all came about, it was from a wonderful time we spent in the Salisbury Centre in Edinburgh. We were learning a therapy, we were meditating, and we were in the kitchen. All women. There were men on this course, but anyway, it was all women, and Lindsey was one of them there. And I was just overcome with this incredible sense of love and belonging and community, and just blurted out, I want to start a Wonderful Women movement. And everyone went, yeah, Susan, do it. But I never, ever did it. But the seed was planted. And I can look at your beautiful face, Lindsey. I can remember seeing you there. And we talked about it many times after, because we went on retreats together. And we kept in touch for quite a while. And then life takes over. However, we can do podcasts now. And this is the start. So this is episode 11. Lindsey is an absolute life explorer, fascinated by what it is to be human and how to truly thrive. And I am posing this season's question to Lindsey, which is there a time or an event or a challenge that changed the trajectory of your life?
Which one do we pick?
I know.
That is a big question, isn't it? And I found that for me, it's been how I've adapted to the challenges more than the challenges themselves. So I could give you like sub story after sub story of things that have happened for me, for me. Wow, look, something's changed because I didn't say to me. So
there you go.
Evolution, baby.
That.
But I always like to boil things down to the essence. I'm one of those kind of like, but what's the bones of it? What's the grit? what is the point? Those kind of things. And for all my challenges, anything that I've experienced as a challenge, anything that I've seen like felt totally wiped out about or lost, all the things, confused, it's always been, who am I before, during, and after the challenge, and who do I take forward with me? Like what evolution, what expansion have I come into that I can move forward with? Because I don't think I had a belief that I was being attacked really by life based on some previous experiences, and just that sense of like, oh, this is not how it's meant to be. So there was this feeling like life was at me, and just through all the different challenges, there's been no choice but to like expand out of that belief, because anything that you can name and claim like is a thing, and if it's a thing, you can look at all of it and then know it's not you because you can see the whole thing.
Yes.
So how could that be me? So with everything, I always try and come back to this. If I can hold it and look at it and explore it, then that can't be me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I make it sound like that was a really graceful journey. It really wasn't.
No, but that realization is so special. In a way it's profound, but in another way it's not. I can remember, and I think it was that weekend in the Salisbury Centre that was first put to me that we are not our thoughts. We are the consciousness that is aware of our thoughts.
Yeah.
it's the same sort of thing. It's so freeing, isn't it? And it is outside. And of course it's got to be looked at and analysed and all the, you know, the things that you've said, but it's not inside. It's not inside.
It's as well, like at that point I was teaching from this it was my experience, but it also was a very conceptual experience, because I hadn't picked up the polarity within myself of like the dark, murky waters of discontent that were there. And so it's all like light, joy, amazing, blah, blah, blah. And then I had to go through this period of going, and there's all this as well.
Yeah.
And collect that. And it's okay to feel things, because I think a part of me, well, when I say a part of me, I know it was a belief, was trying to get away from something or trying not to be human in some way. And now my only focus is being human, like all of it. Like the whole thing, because having the whole thing makes it beautiful, rather than just, oh, maybe I never have that feeling, or I'm not really interested in the show or the labels of it anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I agree completely. You know, my beliefs are my beliefs, and even, you know, and I love dipping into different modes and different theories and taking from it what will serve me. And I think at that time in our lives, there was a certain sort of meditation that was beautiful that I learned. But I also went away and meditated with the Brahma Karmas, with Buddhists, and it's beautiful. It is beautiful having a blend of everything and not putting labels on. And I completely agree. You know, labels for anything I can't stand. You know, whether it's a single parent, whether, you know, what's a single parent? That one used to drive me mad. You know, oh, you're a single parent. No, I'm bringing my children up on my own at the moment, but they do have a father. I'm not a single parent. You know, it's impossible. It's impossible.
There was somebody else involved.
And judgment, I think, and egos sometimes involved in spirituality can be more damaging than anything.
Big time, big time. I left the community that I was in a few years back, and I'd felt it was off for a long time, and I had to kind of, what's the right word I'm looking for? Like, check in with myself, because I can't think of the actual word that begins with R, but check in with myself. And because I'd kind of fallen into this self-helpy spiritual belief that I needed something, I needed to, like I was going to be separate from what I saw as God or the universe or something if I left. Like there was some kind of being held hostage, or trying to show up in a certain way, or not say the wrong thing that puts the community, like anyone would say, you know, there was just all this silliness that went with it. And I feel like self-help recovery has been one of my favorite challenges, because we really had to kind of unwind and unpick everything that I thought I knew, which I kind of put a little bit of a spiritual ego, like, yeah, well, I'm fine because I know about this spirituality and it's the truth. And it's like, what a load of bleep.
Bollocks.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And we can be, and we continue to be spiritual. And I love
that's your being.
Yeah, we just be. Yeah. And I love my mind being changed on things. There is nothing better. It is exciting. I love finding new ways to develop my spirituality. And I think over the past couple of, lockdown has been a blessing, because it's put my life on pause up until a couple of years ago. I had a boutique in the middle of Inverness. It was gorgeous, but it wasn't going to be financially viable reopening it in any way. And you know, we could have gone and got one of those government loans, but we'd be paying it back now. We'd be bankrupt. So but it gave me the time to actually do life and to really deepen my spirituality in a bit of a different ways. I've really been working on my divine feminine, which is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Because before that, I was so masculine. I'm very masculine in my brain. It's very dominant. That's how I was successful in the corporate world. So, you know, it's still very important. But if I can take my gorgeous feminine and hold on to the masculine and nurture the masculine as well, I really have to work on that all the time. And that has been beautiful, with no absolute school of thought or label really to touch.
Exploring it for yourself. And I think that is one of the beautiful things, is like everything that we kind of relied on to keep our version of ourselves that we had in the world got slowly taken away, didn't it? And then it's like, oh, who am I actually? What am I doing? Do I even like these people? Do I like myself? Do I crave something? Well, I found there's so much. For me, it's been great because I had been dating for years and years and years and years, and I was engaged, and I was like, I'll break that off, and then I'll do this, and there was always this kind of needing someone on the outside to make my life better or something. And these last few years have been just so beautiful for going, I'm just not going to do, and I'm just not going to try and add someone into this mix. And that's been such a blessing, because I feel like I finally got myself back.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We don't need somebody else to complete ourselves, but that takes a lot of learning.
And it's not to say, so I don't need anyone. It's like I'm getting to the point now, it's like, and I'm open for someone else to come and play. But I don't need that in order to be myself, which was the kind of one of the challenges that I'd faced over my lifetime, because I was always kind of pretending to be somebody else, like trying to be what other people needed. And I was aware of it because I used to teach about it and I would share my experiences, but there's nothing like the lived experience that only time can give you.
Absolutely. Life is beautiful. And being able to sit back and be you and find you is a wonderful journey. So what have your main learnings been then, my darling?
Cool. So many. You don't have to know the original event to let go of the pain of it. So that's been a quite good one, because I spent a lot of time trying to do therapy and find out what was wrong with me, which, I mean, that's already that's already not going to work, because I'm like, hello, I'm rubbish, what's wrong with me? But that was also part of the feeling that was in it, just this, I don't fit or work here or feel right, or so it was that feeling is the important bit, rather than so I'm broken and I'm rubbish. It's just more like, oh, there's just this feeling that I can't meet. And so feelings are okay, actually okay, not just the concept of like, oh yeah, feelings are okay, but I'm still going to avoid that one. It's like, no, all of them. Even if I humiliate myself or I look ugly crying or whatever it is, it's just like,
absolutely,
we're all okay, which I didn't really believe. So that was one. But I have to say, at the moment, the thing that I'm learning a lot about is creating from essence, not from rush. And so again, self-help trap world of just like, you can do it, you can make it, you can create, you can, but it's all coming from a place of pain, trying to prove something to somebody or be worthy in the world, or there's just this kind of like, I'm doing it, rather than just sitting quietly and long enough to then go, oh, there's this creation that's coming up and I'll follow that, which has such a different flavor to it, because I was, I've always tried to make things and do websites and do them, and everything always felt like a push.
Yeah.
And I'm not a person that's designed to push, and if you're getting into the divine feminine, egg wisdom of just radiating and stuff coming towards you to fertilize ideas and move forward. I've just been really playing with, every time I feel like that, kind of like, oh, gotta go, just going, how about we just breathe? And just have a little moment, and not saying that rushing feeling is bad, just be like, you get to be here and we get to have a little breath. How's that?
Absolutely. And that's a great place to start. But people very often, and I'm sorry, this is quite a sweeping statement, but I did post a question on social media not that long ago, asking, when was the last time you actually sat and did nothing? And that is not sitting and consciously meditating, not any of that, but actually just sat and did nothing.
Like a little beam, just sat there.
Yeah, and that is where magic happens. It really is. Meditation, yes, but
sitting and looking is meditation. Like everything's meditation when it's just you being you.
Yeah, absolutely. And not being in the rush, and not being in the panic, and not coming from a place of fear, and not coming from, oh my God, I've got to do it, because right now, and I think the whole country and a lot of the world we've been in a place of fear for a couple of years, probably, a lot of people.
It's picked up quite a lot.
And that seems to be, that's the way to control everybody. And now with the financial situation, it's like, oh my God, people are terrified.
Yeah, and it pushes you to a certain edge, I think, where you have to go, can I face this fear? Because I used to hate it when people said this in self-helpy things, but like the thing just gets louder and louder and louder until you feel it, really. And collectively we're going through this, like pushing everyone to their edges, so we're like, oh my God, how do I really feel about myself in relationship to money? How do I really experience providing for other people, or thinking of who I am in the world, or what my money means? Like, it's almost unavoidable, which has its beauty, but I never want people to suffer, but it has its challenges and its difficulties, but it's also such a huge invite.
It is. It actually is. And
not that we enjoy it.
And I do believe, and even, before everything went as mad as it's gone now, as far as fuel and electricity and all that sort of thing, I can remember at the start of lockdown, the first year, I thought, oh my God, I hope consumerism is dying. Now, for someone who, used to work for Sky TV and marketing, had a boutique, all this stuff, it's going against everything that I did there, but that's okay. We can all change our mind. And that was a great hope. And I think to a certain extent it's happened, to a certain extent for some people. But also the practicalities, just the practicalities of going through your bank statement and looking at, I did this yesterday, direct debits and subscriptions that you don't do anything with. Get rid of them. That will actually a lot of the time pay the the increases, we do have to be practical, and we do actually also have to look at our worries, and I agree, and look at and also embrace the downtime. You know, if and I don't mean the lying down time, the times that you are feeling challenged emotionally, there's a reason for it, that we can't just push our way back up the tunnel. Sitting with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right to recognize how you feel and still move forward. So it's not even always an either or, like, because it depends if that moving forward is coming from trying to get away from the pain, or if it's going, this is really freaking challenging, but I know that I am the creator of everything. Like, if I can feel it, then it's my experience, then that's the only thing I can really go on. Then I'm just going to move forward, not even trusting, just knowing that something's going to happen in this forward momentum, and really being honest about how I am, where I feel I am, like what's going on inside me.
Yeah,
I think it's possible to move forward and to hold the pain, but also it's okay to just completely collapse.
Oh yeah,
just like, which is what I've done for the last few years. I say I've had a mini retirement, but
oh, that is good.
Yeah.
So what is next for Lindsey Best?
Good question. Well, I've had an idea recently that just arrived one day, and I wasn't, one of those not really doing anything. Oh my goodness, I need to make this thing. I don't know how much I want to share, but the essence of it is a place where someone can go and listen to an audio that helps them feel like they have choice again. So to try and take everyone out of that fear, panic mode and rush, just have like 15 minutes, listen to this thing a few times a day, to just go, oh, okay, and find their answers within. So it's not just like a Zen, I don't have anything to think about, or just more of a, if I was the creator of all reality and I had access to all solutions, what would this solution be? What would my next step be? And see it from there rather than the shit area. And just, I have a huge vision for it, but I'm realizing no rush, just one tiny step at a time.
I love the sound of that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, well, I just felt like if I look at the world and I go, God, this place is bonkers. We put more focus on fame and being known than developing character. People are in pain. People don't have access necessarily to some information that they don't know that they don't know, and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, well, what if I just I didn't even think this, it just kind of arrived in 1 second. We're just create the new thing. Instead of looking at the old thing and being like, well, that's a bit shit and someone should sort that out, just go, but what would I rather see instead? And for me, it's people thriving. And then if any money is made from this thing, putting it back into humanity with planting trees and helping save children and all that stuff. So I just want to make it like a self-fulfilling humanity investment compassion bank thing.
I love that.
Yeah, obviously it's such early days that I haven't got all the right words. I haven't got it in a succinct, here's the thing, but it's just feeling that essence and not rushing to try and make it immediately, but just going, and just if I just breathe life into it. Yeah. Where does that go, rather than, I need to make this just
gorgeous.
If I just
breathe life into, I love it. And the questions you posed there, that's when you were talking, about it at the start. Beautiful. If it was only that, it would be beautiful.
Yeah, and it's coming from me rather than my idea of me.
Yeah.
And it feels a very different idea because all my previous projects have come from, oh, this would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, this is just more like giving my essence and then seeing what happens. Because I'd written a book. I'd written a book about relationships and I called it Relationship Kung Fu. And then one of my friends said, do you know like Kung Fu's, like you can kill people, like it's fighting and you can kill people. I was like, well, I'm doing more at the mastery of it.
Yeah.
But also I do expect people to attack me. Oh, okay. People I love to attack me. So I was like, okay, so maybe I haven't written the like purest version of love kind of book.
Yeah.
And I did it and I started to rewrite it. And then it's kind of, this project takes what I was trying to cram into like this small idea of, oh yeah, I should publish a book, into like, but there's this instead, you know, like this.
Absolutely. I love it.
Captures the entire essence of what I wanted the book to be.
Yeah.
In more accessible, practical, real ways.
I can see you, Lindsey, on Steve Bartlett's podcast. I just saw you there in my mind. In fact, I love him. Do you love him? You do. Oh, find Steve Bartlett. I'll send you a link. He is amazing. He's a guy that he's not even 30 yet. He's the CEO of Social Chain. Well, he built up Social Chain, which is a social media company. But he still owns it, went public, but he stepped down from CEO. But he does this incredible podcast and he has lots of interesting people. But he's also an investor, Lindsey. He would love you. That's my masculine mind going, go do it. No.
Yeah, and you are both things.
Yeah.
So there's no needing to resist either aspect of yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you wonderful women, I think a year from now, we're not going to leave it. I think it must be 12 years. It might even be more.
There's at least a decade in there.
Oh, definitely. So we're not going to leave it a decade the next time, I hope.
I think so.
And we will come back and revisit. And I would love to see where this grows to.
Yeah, me too. It feels exciting.
It does.
And really normal at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that usually is a good sign, I feel.
Absolutely. So I will be putting links on where to find Lindsey if you'd ever like to chat with her. I'm sure that'll be fine with you, Lindsey, in the descriptions. And the podcast is on YouTube and all the audio channels as well. So, my darling, thank you.